Hello, this is Dr. David Bilstrom, and this is Ask Dr. B, where we take your questions and we answer them as best we can. So today's question is from Laurel, and her question is, can people manage an autoimmune disease and live a, quote, normal, close quote, life? And I think this gets to a bigger question even than autoimmune disease, in that what is a normal life? Is a normal life a fulfilling life, one filled with joys and loves and sorrows? And if that's the question, then there's many different kinds of normal lives. Stephen Hawking, the famous scientist who had ALS, you look at ALS where you become slowly but surely paralyzed, even though your brain is totally functioning at 100%, until your body basically deserts you and you die. And so here Stephen Hawking has a disease, it's also called Lou Gehrig's disease, where most people would say, oh, the worst thing in the world for me would be slowly but surely losing all ability to control my muscles, all bodily functions, while my brain is completely lucid. Where Stephen Hawking actually said, this is the best thing that ever happened to me. For my entire life, I think about thoughts, these deep, deep thoughts. Such as space-time continuum, for example. And he was always wasting time with bodily maintenance, bodily functions. He had to brush his teeth. He had to get dressed in the morning. He had to take showers. He had to eat. He had to do all these things that required time and energy that he always felt would be better spent thinking and thinking about these great thoughts. And for him, having this disease, the best thing that ever happened to him. He didn't have to worry about the bodily maintenance, the bodily functions anymore. He lost control of all those things. It required 24-hour care for somebody else to do that. So he was freed up to think 24 hours a day, 7 days a week about the great thoughts he wanted to think. And for him, that was the best thing that could ever happen to him. So it's easy when you get something like an autoimmune disease and think, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing that ever happened to me. Now, because we know what causes autoimmune disease, we're actually in a position to stop the progression, reverse the progression, ideally put somebody in a position to get rid of all the symptoms of the autoimmune disease, and then be in a position also to prevent new autoimmune disease on top of the first or second. And when people can live, whatever kind of life they want. Now, somebody's normal life might be, I want to spend time doing nothing but reading, and I love to cook. Somebody else's normal life might be, I want to rock climb, and I want to backcountry snowboard, split board, and I want to hike and do all these kind of things. And I think really, because of what we can do with autoimmune disease, people are not locked into taking medications that can temporarily make you feel better, but because they don't actually address the underlying issue, you never feel your best. And as time goes on, you tend to get worse and worse. And as you get worse and worse, it kind of locks you into a life that potentially is not going to be a life that you consider normal, fulfilling, and pleasurable. With the ability to actually reverse the process, you're going to have a much better chance, no matter what you want to do and whatever life makes life fulfilling for you, you're going to have a chance to do anything you want to, whether it is, I want to be able to cook and read books, or I want to play with my grandchildren, or as a person with an autoimmune disease myself, I want to be able to go backcountry split boarding. I want to hike up for an hour or two, put my snowboard on and come back down. I want to go hiking, snowshoeing. I like to go mountain biking. I like to ride my dirt bike. Those are the kind of things that I find really pleasurable. On top of the fact I love reading scientific journals. I love gleaning all the scientific journals and getting some of the best scientific information and sharing them with people, whether it has to do with autoimmune disease or other kind of immune system issues or life issues in general. So for me, even if I like to do sort of the more outdoorsy, dramatic stuff that kind of scares my wife and makes her go, you gonna do that again? I can live the lifestyle I want to because I know how to take care of autoimmune disease. And no matter who you are, no matter what you like, there really is the possibility you can do anything you want to. You're not locked into the medication and then slowly but surely kind of waste away. though that being said, I think one of the big important things is people have to figure out what makes life worth living for them. It's different for every person. And just because for me, going backcountry splitboarding makes my life enjoyable and worthwhile, that may not be somebody else's. So whatever makes your life enjoyable, worthwhile, I think it's so important to identify that. Otherwise, we're never going to find pleasure in life, even if we don't have an autoimmune disease. And we find pleasure in what we do, find pleasure in life. And if that's what somebody wants, that is more than doable when it comes to autoimmune disease. Thank you, Laurel, very much for your question. Have a nice day.